I mean, the best way to go about it is 2x your average green day, to where your worst day, if done correctly, then it would take 2 average days to make back.
Welcome back to Master in 5. Today I have a great friend, Brice Foose, who you might know as @Pharma. And we're going to have his total link of his Twitter account below so that way you can find him. But today he's going to be diving in for 5 minutes. We're going to talk about how is he adapting to the bear market. Because I know a lot of you guys and gals are just struggling right now to adapt. So Brice, welcome to the show, brother.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
It's going great, man. I appreciate you being here and sharing just how you're how you're adapting to this market. Because I know a lot of people out there, it's tough.
Yeah.
So how are you approaching it now?
Yeah, so definitely a completely different market as opposed to the last 2 years. So I've had to make quite a bit of adjustments. Big one, sizing down, adjusting time frames to where if I'm in a position, used to be I could be pretty comfortable in it most of the day. Whereas now I'm a little bit quicker to take profits depending on the situation. So time frames adjusted quite a bit. And then, I mean, the biggest thing I do is I review every night so if there's common mistakes that continue to happen, then I'm usually pretty quick to hopefully make adjustments, small adjustments. Like for example, like if there's I'm leaving money on the table consistently, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hold longer. But then if there's some that continue to reverse and I'm giving back too much profits, then I'm gonna make adjustments and either take partial profits, slower stop, and just kind of look for ways to kind of improve based on mistakes that I continue to make. I guess the other thing is I'm looking for other ways to make money, even if it's small amounts, whether it be IPOs or even shoot some of the smaller stocks that are, they used to be $2 or $4 and now they're 40, 50, 60 cents. So, just looking for other edges out there that's different from prior years. And then the other thing is if there's not a whole lot out there, I'll just risk small amounts.
How do you determine, first off, the lot size? Like when you said you immediately start to cut down size, like is that just like a feel thing or is there more of a methodology? Like someone might hear that and they might think, okay, I'm trading 1,000 shares every day, now I'm gonna trade 900. So like what does cut size mean? Yeah,
so usually I'm talking about like a daily lock in terms of the amount that I can lose on a daily basis at the firm level. And it's usually an amount that, I mean, the best way to go about it is 2x your average green day, to where your worst day, if done correctly, then it would take 2 average days to make back, to where you're not giving back a couple weeks or a couple months of profits, something like that.
Yeah.
So the way to adjust it is kind of think in your head, like what would be a decent day, and then, or what's an amount that it wouldn't be a big deal to make back.
Yep.
And then kind of adjust from there. But the easiest way to calculate it that we do as a firm is just 2x your average green day. So that way, the worst case scenario, you're not digging a big hole. And if you continue to hit it, then it's like continue to size down until you get some consistency, and they can go back up hopefully from there.
I appreciate you saying that, but you also said like you're reviewing every day and also every week, and you're trying to make adjustments.
Right.
Do you make those adjustments after every week, or do you wait till the whole month is done to be like, okay, I'm taking profits too soon, or okay, I'm not holding long enough now, or I need to take them sooner? How soon do you start to make those adjustments? After a week of seeing that happen, or like is it what's that like?
I mean, it can be within a couple days mistakes. It's like let's say, for example, I'm up pretty decent in the morning, but by the afternoon they've all reversed and I end up red on the day. So if I've had a couple days that happen, then I'm going to make adjustments pretty quickly until I see ones where I'm leaving some on the table, and then I look for reasons why. Maybe look for commonalities, and maybe one had significant dilution to where, okay, this is one that's safer to hold, versus some maybe kind of a sketchy name that's maybe a high chance for it to reclaim. Maybe I'm gonna kind of take profits a little bit sooner or be cautious on it overall. So I think a key for me is just kind of reacting and then fixing mistakes quickly.
Are you still finding every once in a while, like say once a month or once every 2 weeks, like a really great play in this market, or is it really, really far and few in between right now?
I think few and far between, but I still trade every day. I don't miss days. if there's not much out there, I think what I've done well this year is I won't risk much to where, if I take a couple losses, it's not going to hurt me too bad, even though technically the setup wasn't that great, but the risk wasn't much.
Hey, we wouldn't be able to do these face-to-face interviews if it wasn't for our sponsor, Cobra Trading. So if you can just give them a few seconds of your time, we'd really appreciate it. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be the Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show.
In some of those, I think on a good adjustment, because I use hard stops, I usually have a significant risk level to where if the environment's good, I'm fine with it hitting that level.
Yeah.
And in this market, I've been more apt to, if it's not doing what I want, I just take it off.
Yep. Is that because it's already not the best setup?
It's like
it's like a mixture.
Yeah, like the setup's not exactly A+.
Yeah.
Or even maybe B, and it's not doing what I want, and I feel like certain things in price action kind of decrease the probability it's going to work, whether it be higher lows or reclaim a VWAP or just kind of increase buying, or I can see some kind of the algo get back in level 2, start to speed up, and like just things that kind of decrease the probability it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
So then I'm kind of more apt to take it off just because it's not really worth taking a bigger loss. Even though there is some times where it'll get to my risk level or close to it and come back down to where it would have worked. So there is issues where I get a little bit chopped up because then I'm like, damn, I should have just kept my stop, been fine, and then get back in, and then I so there is issues with getting chopped up, but I try to limit attempts to a max of 3 on a ticker.
Do you have a time frame within those attempts, or is just it could be like boom, boom, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get in the morning, close to open. So there's certain factors I'm looking at in terms of volume, float, news, and some of them I'll back off of and maybe wait for a little bit, and some of them I'm going to hit right away.
Yeah.
Because the ones that really work for me, there's not much strength at the open, and they continue to die. MOTS is a good example. On Thursday, if you're waiting for a pop or you're waiting for a half an hour, you miss the play, right?
Yep.
And that's probably the best fade we had in the entire September. So, if something like that in the slow environment, like you can't really afford to kind of mess around and wait for
the perfect
exactly.
pop and short into that area.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like people look for kind of perfect trades, and I don't know if I've ever had a perfect trade. I mean, right? There's always certain things that can be kind of changed, and just got to give what the market, take what the market gives, and kind of move on. So.
Well, I want to clarify this last question before we wrap it up, man, and that was whenever I was trying to say, like, if you see something.
Sure.
And let's say you stop out before you stop because of the market we're in.
Right.
Like, I don't like the messages that I get. So when that happens, would you get right back? Like, do you have rules around getting right back in? Like maybe a wick, a wicked out. Like, do you have a time frame within, like, to keep you from like tilting or revenge trading? You know, like, 'cause sometimes I might get stopped out personally, and then I jump right back in, and usually the odds are really low that I'm going to be right on that second jump back in.
Yeah. So in terms of reattempts, it depends on the situation. It's like I said, kind of back in 2021, I'm more apt to get right back in.
Yes.
But when the environment's slower, like I said, if it's not doing exactly what I want to kind of minimize and kind of step back a little bit. So there are times, like if it just wicks my stop, slams back down, I'm gonna probably get right back in. But if it's super strong, I might just shut it down and just say I'm not gonna get back in until it's up with VWAP. That way, if it continues to be crazy the entire day, I've only taken that one loss and I avoided the entire day. And that way, that keeps me safe for the huge runners. If I wait for a sub-VWAP entry, the ones that go completely nuts, I'm not trying every little pop
right.
and getting killed, just getting blown out.
100%.
So for me, like when I look at the huge runners, how do you avoid something on the short side? If you waited for a sub VWAP entry, it's going to save you so many times. Now there are times I'm going to hit a higher low or something like that, depending on the setup. But the ones that go completely nuts, if it's trending above VWAP, a lot of volume, news is good, or looks super strong, I've been able to avoid a lot of those on the short side until it's truly time. So that would be. Now I may try it again if it breaks VWAP. Usually 2 attempts in the morning, and I may try it again in the afternoon. But like I said, I like to limit to 3 attempts overall.
Is your allotment for those 3 attempts? It's a lot for that ticker for the day, or for your day?
So it kind of like if I have a couple other wins, I might be willing to risk a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Now if I have a couple other losses, I'll be like, all right, I got to back up on this one a little bit.
Okay.
So it really depends on the overall day. If I have a couple others that are looking good, and and they're doing well, or I've already had some realized green on them, I might be more inclined to try it again, just because hey, it's still a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
But I'm careful not to get chopped up too much, and I'm usually willing to risk like maybe a percentage of the lock. Maybe like I really don't want to go for a half of my lock for one ticker. Now obviously there's times where you go a little bit over 2/3 or maybe a full lock on one ticker. Which happens, but want to try to avoid that just because they're too big losses to make back, especially in this environment. Kind of ruins the whole day if you do that. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, look, Brice. Look, I appreciate it so much, man, and sharing this information. I know all of y'all got a lot of value from this, so make sure to share it with another trader. But if they have any questions, or if they want to connect with you in some way, where can they find you at, man?
Yeah, Twitter, FarmDFoose. I'm not active on there at all. A little bit too much nonsense for me, but my DMs are open. I definitely answer DMs. Usually if it's a good question, I can typically tell there's some thought put into it, and I'm usually pretty quick to get back to you with a pretty good answer typically. So, but yeah, that's the best way to reach me.
Perfect, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Brice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being a fan of the show and watching to the end. To give back to you all this month, I actually reach out to Falcon Trading, and we're going to do multiple giveaways this month. Here's what we're doing. We're going to give away a computer. We're going to give away a docking station, which basically turns your laptop into a computer station. A monitor mount that holds multiple monitors. So for those who have the dream of having that massive monitor station, we got you covered. And multiple $100 gift cards to lucky winners. All you have to do, click the link below. It'll show all the details of the prizes and the rules so that you know exactly how to win.